Hi, this is Patrick Wells, and I respectfully acknowledge the island of Newfoundland is the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk.
Hi everyone, welcome to Conception Bay South. This is Conception Bay. Over there is Bell Island, far in the distance. In between Bell Island and my present position is Little Bell Island. Between the two islands are two ore carriers that were sunk by Kriegsmarine U-boats during World War II. So we saw action here during World War II. Unfortunately, many people died in those sinkings. But in front of me now I have the intertidal zone, and the tide is just starting to come on its way up. As you can see, it's a lovely day out here, although the wind is blowing from the west and it is cold. So when you're walking on the beach, you should never turn your back on the ocean. Even though there are large islands between us and the ocean, you don't want to turn your back on the ocean. Now you can see, actually the tide is really starting to come in. We're going to make our way down to where I know there is some lovely racks of seaweed. This right here is what I would call the coffee grinder. Anything that gets washed up here is going to get ground up and sent back out in pieces. You can see some rhodophyra here. Here's some red algae that has broken away, and unfortunately that's the end of the algae. There's also, this is fucus right here. This is a fucus species of brown algae. So as I like to tell my students, the red algae is red, the brown algae is brown, and the green algae is green. And that keeps everything much straightened away. So as we come down here, we can see there's a lot of material washed up on the beach, and you're starting to see out here, you can see some rocks where some fucus will attach, and this is where we're starting to get into our different types of seaweed. So on stormy days, I can pick up sea urchins down here and try to put them back. There are some unfortunate things there that have shown up. That is plastic that will be ground up and turned into bits of microplastic. And look at all the cans. Alright, so with the westerly wind, you see a lot of stuff blowing up here. The great thing about this now is, though, with a westerly wind, what you don't get is the raw sewage coming back in, because they move the raw sewage outlet further down the shore. Yes, Conception Bay still puts raw sewage in the ocean. That's unfortunate. More and more plastic, but you're seeing lots of algae washed up here that has broken away. It's been very windy. And as we get down here into the rocky area, we're starting to see where things can survive. But in order to survive, what they're doing is they're hiding in the crevices. So out in the crevices between the rocks, you'll find different periwinkles. And I'll show you a few pictures here now of some still shots that I've taken. Alright, so we've got common periwinkles, we've got rough periwinkles, we've got dog whelks. Okay, and dog whelks are actually predators. They love eating mussels, clams, even barnacles. They'll eat barnacles. So I'll just throw a few pictures in there of those. Here is a piece of a kelp rack here that was broken away. But you can see the algae here is putting up with quite a pounding from the ocean. And it's a tough place to live. We don't have any tide pools here. This is open ocean. In fact, if we look up there towards the sun, we have this thing called the Barishway there. What happens is you'll get the pounding of the surf will make this sandy beach, and then you'll get an open pond in between and behind it. So I'll grab a picture of that and I'll just stick it in the video here now, and I can just show it to you. So that's what's in behind that. That actually is one of the things that keeps non-native brown trout from sneaking into these brooks where the brook trout normally are found. Now, there's a good piece of kelp there, but it's been beat up quite a bit. That's a brown algae because it's brown. There's more different types of fucus here. Vesiculosis. Alright. I'm not sure the other species of it, but you can see that they have floats on them that allow them to be up in the water column for photosynthesizing. So this is one of the beaches I walk quite a bit. Oh look, there's some green algae. How do I know that? Because it's green. So we just keep moving along here. And I frequent this beach quite a bit. One of the things I like to look for up top in the very high splash zone is, of course, my favorite beachcombing items. I'm looking for sea urchins, I'm looking for mermaid purses and things like that. So I should be able to encounter a few of those, although it looks like the lovely weather of the weekend has splashed up and covered all the possible mermaid purses I could get there. So I'll just keep moving along, and I'm sure there's going to be some blown up here further. And you can see it's quite windy today. We don't have any red waves, just white caps. The wind is about 40-50 kilometers an hour, and it's a pretty rough place to live. But the one thing that allows all these seaweeds to exist here is the large rocks. Because if they were in amongst sand and gravel, they would be ground right off the surface of the rocks. Let's just hop up here and see if we can find some of my favorite items. No, the snow has made it difficult. Oh, there's a seagull. Two of them. Ah, there must be something there. Anytime you see 3 or 4 seagulls gathered around something, it usually means there's something there. So keep an eye on their location. See what's washed in. There must be something there. This was quite a place for birders up until a couple years ago, when of course they moved the sewage outlet down to Cronin Head. So now the raw sewage goes out there, not out here. Okay, well, I don't see anything there that they were after, but anyway, I'm going to just put in some images there now of things that I normally find. Might get some things up here. Anyway, I normally come across some sea urchins, some various shells. One of my favorite things is rhodoliths. Alright, and I hang on to those to show my students. You can break them open and you can see all the things that live inside them. Well, I can see that everything is pretty sea level. So I'll show you some images now of different things, and continue this video without the use of the live camera. So I'll sign off.